Hello, welcome back. I'm Dr. George Mochocki, and we're on our journey to uncovering and understanding retail merchandising. Today, we're going to be talking about buying merchandise from suppliers. So, now, some suppliers are more ethical than others, some give you more value for your money, others I have no choice because they're the only supplier. I have to pay the higher end. Some are aligned with my social responsibility value system. Others may not. So which suppliers do I select? Is it only for cost? Sometimes when you open up a new store, a new retailer, you are limited at your choices because you're new and you are a high risk factor. So you may have to deal with suppliers that may be a little bit shady. Just keep your eyes on them. Or you may deal with suppliers that may not align with your value system. Or your, let's say if I'm a environmentalist, but I have to buy from a supplier, not that environmentally friendly overall, but the one product I need. And they're the ones that will be able to supply to me, or at least sell to me. Remember, that's a new thing. You're a risk because they don't know if you'll be able to pay me back, how much you learn. All right, after you're running a while, then you'll look at your suppliers. Some you'll get rid of, some you'll be able to upgrade up or change because now you have a historical value and you understand exactly what you want. You're not so, I think I need these, I need these. No, I need this size, I need this size because here's my customer base. Now, from a supplier point of view, they're trying to make connections with smaller, new entrepreneur businesses. Because if your business grows, you're going to buy more product from them. So they're taking the risk. They're small. We'll send them some of the product. We'll give them a little discount. He's not or she's not buying by the large quantities to justify that, but we'll give them an introduction to get them into the system and see how to help them along. Because then they'll find out, oh, are the only ones that help you. So when you're looking at a supplier, it's a relationship building, similar to what you are doing with your clientele, your customers that you're serving. You are basically a customer to them, and you have to select. Okay? All right, so let's go on here. Always look at the terms and conditions. Print out my concept maps. We've already been through there, so you could add on to it. Read the chapters. Look at the video. Look at the, remember we did a discussion. Now we're just going to kind of just summarize this all. So I'm going really quickly, trying to keep it under 20 minutes. Okay, so the key terms. If you look at the key terms, I know the definition. It helps you pass the exams, the tests, and everything else. But think of the key terms. Pick up one or two of the key terms that you could start using in your vocabulary. That's how you build your vocabulary. Not just reading one time, salt what the heck? Salt is very common for depending on who your clientele. So use their key terms, see what they're asking, and if they say something you don't know, what does that mean? You could ask them, are you talking? So you could at least have a conversation that gives you credibility. They say, write it down and go back. What the heck does that mean? Or ask your peers, ask somebody else to help you understand the concept. It's not that easy. Just because you know the vocab but don't know how to apply it, you lose your credibility. Or they're going to take advantage of you because they figure you don't know what you're doing. You're just blowing a lot of smoke, but you don't have a clue. And remember, you got those suppliers who may take advantage because they got to make their quotas. Okay, so if I'm looking at brand alternatives, let me click in on this, okay? And let me just close these off a little bit here. Okay, I'm just going to go real quickly. You have different national brands, you have store brands, you have generic brands, and so I'm just going to go, I'm not going to go too much in detail, you know the difference. So if I'm looking, the national brands bring people in. They're higher priced, their brand, you got a reputation, you got the image, they got a following. But my whole thing is bring them into my shop, my boutique. I may have the main labels, whatever, bringing them in, jewelry, whatever, just to bring them in, and then to sell them my private label. and we'll talk about, you put them side to side, and depends who you're looking. You're looking at different demographics. Some are only going to buy for the national brand because they feel there's a quality, there's all this other stuff, quality control. Others will maybe buy private labels, or some will even buy generic. Now, the thing to remember when you're buying from all these different suppliers, that as a manufacturer, I will sell everything for my brand name. I know only so many people are going to buy from the brand label. Like, I think they had like Kellogg's raisins, anything else. Now what happens? I have a production line. I'm a supplier and manufacturer. What do? I basically make my profit on that to pay off my break-even cost for my own operation. Now I have idle equipment time. I will go to Mariano's or Jewel or Sam's or whatever, or Costco, and say, hey, I will make you the same quality, but I'll put your label on it for a lower cost. It reduces my profit. I'm still making money, but not as much. Okay? And then I'm going to go into the national. Let me go back in here. Why buy? Right, new products cost me more. Brands enhance my. Remember, the whole thing is the experience that they love to come in here. Multiple tiers, right? Profitability. Anything I could do myself or get a cost in the logistics system reduces the cost to me, increases my profitability, or I could lower my cost, my inventory cost. My price to the customers, and I could sell more and make more profitability. Take me for finding, all right? And then more flexibility, strong brand name, dedicated retailers, display. Remember, when I'm looking at the brand names, when you look at advertising, go further on, they will do a co-op. They'll pay for half or more of it as long as you put their name on. ComEd does all the time. Give you a free light bulb. Look, not free. It costs you $20. It's an efficiency program. You get it for $4 with ComEd's labels on there. When ComEd puts their label on there, they basically have to do a commitment by the Citizens Utility Board to reduce the consumption to be more environmental and efficient. So they work. How could they do it? They can't do it by themselves. They basically work with different suppliers. You take that advantage. You got the ads, the money. You have a larger exposure. You have people buying in there. You utilize it. Remember this whole thing. Utilize your suppliers as your customers utilize you. Okay, so you have that. Okay, now the other thing is buying national brand. Now, meeting national brand vendors, you buy them to whole New York, the fashion center. They talked about that. Here's a picture. If you ever want to go to New York, right now I don't know if I want to go to New York with all the lockdown, all this. You got to have all the damn passports. Why do I say that? It's the fashion center. Now, because of that's all being so damn restricted, people say, I don't want to go there. Too much stuff. I don't know. It doesn't look safe anymore. So what's happening? Is it shifting to Chicago? Just throwing that in. You don't know. So you don't have to go to New York. You can come in here. As long as people feel comfortable, open. You're all right? Okay? Okay. So now developing sources. Store brand merchandise. How do you develop them? You basically store brands. Larger retailers operate. JCPenney's has Stafford. Costco has their Kirtland. Sam's has their members club. Okay, so you got to look globally. You're looking at the currency. If you're going from China, how do I investigate in here? Outsourcing, reverse auctions. You obtain private labels at a low price. Retail buys them for specifications. Competitors, vendors bid on the price they're willing to sell it at, and typically used for retail operation, carpeting, fixture. So you have stuff and you could get it at a discount. Remember, when you're looking at suppliers, don't stick with one because they're real nice. I like George. You look around. You go to Target, you go to Walmart, you go to Costco, you go to Sam's, you go to Mariano's, you go to Jewel, and all you're looking for eggs. You come in and who's got that, but while I'm in there, I'm buying other stuff because I know they have more of the quality or they have more of the product line I'm looking at. Okay, this next one, negotiating. You have to have, when you look at negotiation, knowledge is power. You have to know as much about your product, about their business, about their competition as they do. Because they're going to come in there and they're going to try to manipulate you. and not manipulate, they're trying to sell to you. They're trying to customize their sales pitch to you. Look, I was in sales for a while. Use it what you want. All right? Okay, so negotiation issue. Gross margin, you got to look at that. Slotting fees, additional markups, terms and conditions. Remember, in sales and anything else in finance, look at the terms and conditions, how to get out of the contract. Good deal, but I have to buy this record over and over again. No, that's not a good deal. I want it now, and how do I get out of it? Okay, if you look at some of these ads when you do sign up for this free streaming service, you get it for this price for 6 months, free. After 6 months, you have to pay $9.99 or something a month. But to cancel, you have to make that issue to call them. But if you don't cancel, it keeps on billing. You forget about it. That's just the term. So you say, hey, no, I don't give them a charge card. I'll pay them by a check. And the check basically, once it's, oh, they can't. It's not automatic on that. There's ways of working around that. Okay, tips for the effective negotiation. Sometimes they'll come in there. Look, if you're buying a new car, I'm going to show you how it works. You're buying a new car. You come in there and you got everything else. I don't like the pricing. And you're dealing with the salesperson or the ambassador or whatever the heck they call them nowadays. So you're dealing with this individual. They don't call them salesperson, they're associates because they're peddling something. So associate, I'm here to help you. Okay, so you're dealing with him or her and you're coming into the final thing. It's you don't have your significant others, you're there. And then you say, well, let me bring in my manager. Or let me bring in the finance person. Now it's 3 people against you. Throwing questions, and you're kind of like, oh yeah, it sounds good. Well, what about this? What about? They're using a tactic to force you into that. So if you have 3 negotiators, you better have 3 on your team, unless you're very comfortable with it. I never had a problem with that, with more than thing. That's you. You already know. You have knowledge. You understand their system. It's easier for you to do it. They know they're not going to pull a fast one over you. Okay? Insist on object information. Invent option for mutual gain. You could always change some of the contract. This is what they're like. No, I don't like this. You want my business. Remember, when you're first small, you don't have too much leverage. After your business grows and you have a certain niche that you're the only one buying it or selling it, then you'll have it on there. Okay? Okay, now we're going to be going into strategic relationships. Remember, larger companies have long-term relationships with their vendors. It's not always necessarily always on price. Delivery issues, quality, warehouse, shipping, all this logistic, all this relationship building, they do it in a contractual agreement. A lot of times, if they have IBM has a contractual agreement to supply all and update all computer systems in a lot of companies. And sometimes IBM says you will not utilize any other competitor. That's their agreement for the price reduction that I would get. And sometimes, what keeps them, from a supplier's point of view, they want to make sure that you are buying enough products so they could keep their own inventory and their own operation going smoothly, because they know what demand's going to be in the future. Understand, you're always going to have some adjustments to do, but overall it's going to be fairly similar every month. That's going to be the same usage one way or the other. It's going to go up or it's going to go down, but at an average, you'll be able to maintain it. That's what you're looking for. But then you want a contractual agreement, so it's not just a word say. It just makes it legal. It still works out well, all right? So how do I set up the strategic relationships? Okay, you basically, as a partnership, you want a win-win. You win some, I win some. Working together, awareness, exploration, mutual trust, common goals, open communications, credible commitment. Sometimes, if I'm going to buy financial cash flow, my supplier will say, hey, I'll tell you what, I'll give it to you, I'll extend your credit a little bit, don't worry, we'll take care of it, we'll let you pass on this side. But then sometimes they'll come to me and say, hey, the sales, the associate, the contact that I have from the supplier, I got to move some of these products here. I will help him because he or she helped me. That's how you build that strategic bond. You have to, it's the person that's dealing with you. So when you're hiring and you're dealing with, if you're on the other side and you're a supplier trying to sell stuff to retailers, make sure you look at your sales force or the individuals that is representing your organization. Okay, I've got 6 more minutes. Okay, now let's go on to legal and ethical issues for buying. You have counterfeit merchandise out there. And when I look at counterfeit merchandise, trademark, copyright, you're using somebody else's stuff, using their things, or insinuating that they are part of your operation or that you have some kind of connection. Some people put the cancer logo on their website and they never give to the Cancer Association. That's unethical. You know, they get caught on it. How do you know? You could do if you look at the annual reports and the budget. A lot of people just assume. Most consumers don't, unless it hits the media. But you got to be careful, right? Because the new word of mouth is the social media. Okay, so what do we have here? You have the gay market, the black market, parallel imports, diverted merchandise, stuff sold on the black market. There used to be in Chicago, they would have areas that you could come in there and you could buy stuff. Vendors would just open up on the street market. Okay, I think they minimize that. The city needs the tax money, so they tax everything on there. Okay, terms and conditions. You got to make sure the terms and conditions are favorable to you and to your supplier. Commercial bribery. People are going to try to buy you out, charge back, pay back, exclusive dealings, tying contract, refusal to deal with you. All right. So when I'm looking at all these, there's all legal, ethical issues. I'm not going to deal with him because he's Polish. I'm not going to deal with him because he's conservative. I'm not going to deal with him because he's a Democrat. I'm not going to deal with him because they're Republicans, they're libertarian. Whatever reason. Remember, in business, I don't care who I deal with. I mean, as long as they're ethical, they're not ripping me off because they have a different focus or different alignment with a different party or a different idea. As long as it doesn't upset the overall environment, I deal with them. I don't care. I'm looking there to buy a product. I'm there to get the best deal so I can make some money and I can basically help my customers get the best deal. That's why they come back to me. One of a kind. Okay? Okay, now social responsibility. We've talked about a lot of that. A lot of companies are social responsible. That means they give back to the community that they serve. So corporate social responsibility, voluntary action, ethical, social, environmental impact. A lot of companies help other people out. They don't go wild. Here's what you have. There's always the expression, go woke, go broke. And what they're basically saying, go woke, go broke, and I'm just using the terminology that's out there, is that I want to be socially responsible. I help a certain cause, but I don't put that cause and make it my main focus because that's not what I'm there for. People are buying from me for the product. The focus should be the social response. I will help them out, but not to change it. Because remember, I could have 20% of the people that say, I don't like this product, you should be this, and they're basically the ones wanting me to change, but 80% of my clientele, hey, I like this. Don't change it. We don't want to give to there. So you have to be careful on that. You help people out. You match your employees wherever they want to give to. I'll match them if it's a credible charitable organization, whatever. I'll match that. I'll help them out, but I don't go hog wild. If I look at the sports industry, I do sports marketing also. What's hurting them? Forget let's go football. What's hurting them with football? The kneeling. And the reason the kneeling, okay, fine, you made a statement, but it keeps on coming over and over and over. I come in there to watch sports, or people that come in to watch sport, entertain. They want to get away from the politics. They want to get away from the COVID-19. They want to hear none of that. I want to escape reality. That's what is an entertainment. So for the first time, I could think I'll be that. They got Netflix has a new Marvel person on. I could be that Marvel king, Captain America, whatever. All right. So when you look at this is why that expression. You help them out, but that's not your focus. People come in there to buy your product. They're looking at your quality. They don't care that this was made by an Asian person. They don't care if this was made in China. They don't care if it was made in Indiana. They're looking at the quality. Remember, you're looking at quality. I buy from all different people the quality. That's what I have to do for my suppliers, okay? All right, so I have that fair trade, greenwashing, and what does Home Depot do? They have the energy balls, efficient. It's encouraging suppliers to include their products in its eco options marketing things. So they're bringing suppliers in and say, hey, you want to be part of our chain? Well, you got to be part of our marketing thing. It means they got to pay a little bit more. They got to be more eco-friendly. And now, but they want that because Home Depot is pretty good. People come in there and they have the brand name and they want to target that market. So they may have a line directly just for the eco thing for Home Depot. All right? So I think I covered everything I wanted in here. Let me just expand this down to one level. Here's the bottom line. You look at your suppliers as customers look at your business. Why do I look at one business over another business? Is the value I get, the pricing, the quality, the service, the communication, the trust, the loyalty. They're not out there to rip me off. If there's a mistake, they'll work with me. We'll settle this out fairly and togetherly. All right? The suppliers look at me as a customer. Don't forget that. Even though I don't know, there's a risk factor, but you're still a customer. If they don't take you, somebody else is going to pick you up. Same thing when you're doing all the cars. A lot of people look at that got a suit and tie. Oh, let's say I'm in a Mercedes dealer. I come in there, and now I come in there like I normally. Same individual, but I got a jean, a sweatshirt, and a gold whatever on my t-shirt. They look at it like I can't afford my car. They don't talk to me because they don't think I qualify. Somebody else, not a salesperson or an associate, comes to me and he or she makes a sale. Don't look at the physical. Look at the internal. What is that person giving me? What do I get out of that transaction? Do I want to make that relationship? Sometimes you have no choice. To start off, make any relationship, make the connections, and then later on you've already made a relationship. Now your competitors, hey, he's doing all right. They may want to come in and knock out your competition. Welcome to retailing, the life of suppliers. Don't get locked into always keeping one supplier. Like I said, a lot of people only have one checking account, one bank. Have several. Don't like one, switch it over. Have different venues. You can't have one, just use a post office. A lot of them use UPS. They also use FedEx. They use DHL. Why? Just to make that relationship. Not as much. If something happens, they have a backup plan. They don't have to start coming up, hey, could I have some of your business? I'm already connected. I got some relationship. Now just making it stronger. All right? So remember, look out for those suppliers. You are the person in charge. You're controlling it. Just like you are, you're a customer to them, and they basically are a retailer to you. All right, so again, my name is Dr. George Mochocki, and I hope this is a real brief 23 minutes. I keep on going over. Sorry. Talk to you later. Bye.